Welcome into the latest edition of the Second Half Draft Show. I'm your host, Juice, joined by Drew. This evening, Headley is at a volleyball tournament, so you know what that means. All right, Daddy Duty. We got a trio of 7-round mock drafts for you this evening, featuring the Los Angeles Chargers. Drew, have they changed the bolt? Have they not changed the bolt?
Nope. So you know what that means.
They don't want to win, bro.
They don't want to win, bro.
They're not serious about winning, bro. Just not serious about winning. The Green Bay Packers, Jake's Green Bay Packers, we're going to try to do them justice. We've been taking advantage of the Packers quite a bit over the course of these 7-round mock drafts and trades. So we'll try to do the Packers some justice. And then their interdivisional rival there, the Minnesota Vikings. So let's get to it, Drew. Let's get to it. Let's start with the Los Angeles Chargers, a team that ultimately made the playoffs last year. They were bounced by the Texans in the wild card round, but seemingly under Jim Harbaugh, headed in the right direction. Going to go back to the draft, of course, meat and potatoes as it relates to Jim Harbaugh. Started with the Joe Alt pick, got the Lab McConkey, worked his way out from there. What do you think they need to prioritize here in the first round as we get this mock draft underway?
I'm looking, bro. You said prioritize?
Yeah.
I want to do something. I necessarily think it's a priority, but I think it's something they should be looking into, which is a tight end. I know Will Dissly, Tyler Conklin, they got on the roster. They got a fullback on the roster, bro. Let's clap it up real quick.
Hey, man, listen, I respect it.
Fullback's not dead. No, we out here, bro. Looking at their offensive line, right tackle, left tackle looks solid. Zion Johnson, left guard, Mekhi Becton. Is the right guard.
Nice addition.
Yeah, it looks like they're straight on the offensive line based on what I'm looking at. We were talking about off air. They could use another pass rusher, I think. They could use. So Mike Williams, what's his contract, real quick? I just need to look at
It's a one-year deal. I think they brought him back on a one-year deal, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, so receiver is possibility. Let me take a look. Mike Williams.
I think they do need to address the receiver room. Josh Palmer is now in Buffalo. Williams has struggled to stay healthy. And I think although he may not necessarily have as much juice as Quentin Johnston, I think they have a similar skill set in terms of, what you would expect from an ex-receiver, outside the numbers, bigger body type. Williams historically played above the rim more so than Quentin Johnston, but at this point, Williams is a decent veteran. I don't know that he's going to be enough to kind of move the needle in terms of this Chargers passing game. McConkey is really the linchpin of the passing game. You certainly hope Quentin Johnston can continue to take those steps, but they definitely could use another pass catcher. I personally think they need to. Not only do they need to address receiver, and depending on how things play out, maybe you do prioritize the receiver, but I think they need more teeth in terms of their defensive front. I think they need the pass rush. As we talked about it just before we started the live. Bosa has moved on. He's been hurt.
Nice. All right. Juice out there. So I guess it's me and y'all right now. I was looking. It looks like Denzel Perriman. I think they brought him back. He's played forever. That's a guy from the U. Loved him coming out. I don't think he's ever become the guy that we thought he could be due to injuries. Just kind of, it's not staying healthy. But I think middle linebacker is probably a position or inside linebacker. Let me say it that way. Off the ball linebacker, since these guys play a 3-4, is something that they got Troy Dye on the team and Junior Colson, but looking for an impact player immediately. So that's something we can look into. We do like some of the linebackers in this draft. I would start it, but Juice is he's at the helm, or he's the captain of the ship. Although I guess I could boot him. Pickens would be interested on the Chargers. Yeah, going to a Harbaugh team, I think Harbaugh will be able to get him in line, straighten him up. I think that's not a bad thought. My question is, Dana, what would you give up for Pickens if you're the Chargers? It's not a bad thought. I like it. What you think, Juice? You like that? You doing that? Putting that poison on your team, bro? I don't.
I mean, if I could get him at a steep discount because Pickens is gonna, his contract is elapsing. It's getting to the
Right.
point now where you would have to pay him big money. I don't know, man. I don't know. I think Harbaugh is trying to establish, a culture.
Yeah. Yeah.
I probably wouldn't go down that road.
Like you would have to be stealing them from the Steelers, essentially.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that isn't to knock Pickens' talent. It's just the kind of mercurial
talent's
nature
not the issue.
Is it? Well, exactly. And I think if I were a player away, I'd be more inclined to add Pickens, right? If I was just a receiver, an X away, then I might roll the dice on him. But I think the Chargers, despite the fact that they were in the playoffs last season, or just a few months ago, actually, I don't know that they're that close to overtaking the Chiefs and making a deep playoff run just yet. I think there's some other areas that I would prefer to address, and I think they certainly recognize that they need to get better in the receiving room, but I don't want to bring in that temperament. I'll be perfectly frank with you. So interesting thought, though, for sure. All right. Let's get started. Got a little distracted there, so excuse me. Drew, I plan on kind of remaining put here at 22.
Yeah, unless we see someone comes to us.
Yeah. Unless something egregious is happening, like a Tech McMillan is available, maybe then.
Come on, bro.
Jalen Walker sliding, you know what I'm saying? Maybe under those circumstances, but let's get it started here. Travis Hunter all the way to the Raiders. Okay, let me see what we got thus far. So Cam Ward, Shador 1-2, Will Campbell, Mason Graham. Interesting here.
Mm-hmm.
That means Illuminor is playing guard. Graham, 4th overall to New England. Abdul, Travis Hunter, Tyler Warren. Tech McMillan to Carolina. They certainly can use a receiver. Membo, Genty, Campbell, Golden to Dallas. Barron, Ezraku. All right.
I like every pick but the Giants pick, bro. Really?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think they could stand to improve their offensive line, but I don't know that I would use the 3rd overall pick on.
Not when Carter's on the board, Hunter's on the board.
No, not with Carter and Hunter on the board. No.
Yeah,
I agree with you there. Yeah. All right. Keep it going. Walker.
Yeah, the Walker was going there. I knew that.
Mark. All right. Banks. Malachi Starks. Malachi and Derwin James. Woo.
Ooh,
all right.
That's crazy.
Yes, indeed. Luther Burden is on the board, as well as Emeka Ibuka. I think there's probably some, not all. I don't think they're just the carbon copy of one another, but I do think there's some similarities between Ibuka and McConkey. I like the idea of adding Burden to the mix, although some might argue that, that's probably a little too much like Quentin Johnston. Some might argue that. I don't necessarily agree with that, but some might argue that.
Yeah.
If you wanted to go edge, there's James Pierce. Let's see. Scorton. And then we get into, kind of our day 2 guys, Princely, Swinson.
I like Scorton. How we feel about James Pierce. I like Malachi Starks. I like Starks over everybody.
Okay.
And then I probably would go scroll down. What was the edge? The other edge I just said? Damn, I forgot that fast. Scorton. I'd probably go Scorton there next.
I think we could trade down potentially and get Scorton.
Okay.
I think that's an option. It looks like
or Colson also.
Colson Loveland at the tight end, right?
Yeah. So there's 3 guys right there that I'm comfortable taking if we lose one of the guys by trading down.
Commanders looking to trade up as well. Yeah. Let's ooh, it's hard passing Malachi.
It is, bro. It is.
It's hard passing up Starks. But I don't know,
What you want to
Drew.
do, bro?
I don't know. Let me see what the Detroit's willing to part with first and foremost.
Okay.
No, I don't want to do it for that.
No, we're dropping 6
And
bucks.
then 29. Yeah. No, we're
Eight
drafting right
starts.
here. Yep. I think we're taking starts right here. I don't think we're getting the return that we would like.
We tried.
Yeah, we tried. We definitely tried. I think when you talk about the Lions, trading down to 28 and picking up 102, I just think that's not enough value, right? Maybe not a second round pick, but an earlier third round pick.
Third round pick. Yeah.
I'd be interested in. But since that isn't the case, let us go with Malachi Starks. Pair him up with Derwin James on the back end. All right. Our next selection is 55th overall. Colton Lovely actually went to Washington.
They go scoring right there.
See what the edges are looking like for us when we get back on the clock. Ooh, Swinson Hurts and Princely.
Damn.
And Princely, yeah. Yeah, it's one of those things.
Damn.
I like Stewart. Stewart is. Don't get me wrong. I like Sawyer and Kennard too, but I think Stewart, obviously, I think that fit makes a lot of sense. There's Birch. There's your guy David Walker as well.
David Walker. Yes, sir.
Let's see. A trade down would be 67. I don't know that we want to do that. Our next pick is at 86.
Yeah.
Let's just check around. Trey Harris, Jalen Noel.
Royals.
Bond. We were just getting a look at Savion Williams and Jack Besh in our film session. Quite a few receivers here. Kyle Williams is a guy that I like quite a bit too for this team. They need a running back.
They do need a running back.
I know they signed Najee. I'm aware that they signed Najee, but I think they could stand. Most teams could stand to add a back from this draft class.
You should. But it's going to be irresponsible.
Yeah. Let me take a look at the down line real quick.
Yeah, let's take a look.
Use some bodies there too.
CJ West
Turner a lot. West. Ooh, they moved up west.
Yeah.
Fred Collins. How I feel about him.
Deion Walker steady falling.
Yeah, that back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think we could potentially wait. We might miss out on maybe these top 3 to 4, but we could potentially wait here. Okay. I'm inclined to prioritize that edge, man.
Yeah. I'm good with Josiah Stewart, bro. I love the juice off the edge. If you blink, you might miss him. And if they had a better offense, I think he gets a little bit more run this year and a little bit more love. But he's not a guy. He's not a hard guy to miss on the tape, bro, because he flashes.
No. I agree with you there. He shows up on a weekly basis. Yeah.
Coming around the corner.
Yeah. All right, another Michigan representative here for Jim Harbaugh.
And we know him too well, man. Harbaugh knows him too well, man. You know what I mean?
I like it. All right, let's do it. All right, Malachi Josiah Stewart through the first 2 rounds here. Our Chargers draft. Getting to the 3rd round.
There. A lot.
There's Turner, Birch, Taylor, Broughton, Farmer, Harris, Collins.
He wasn't on a run. They took everybody, bro. On the interior.
Jalen Noel's still out there.
He's still out there. Okay.
And then, like I said, I'd be
there. Nick Nash.
I'm pretty high on Kyle Williams. I think he's a top 125, top 100 player ish. Let's see, down line. Get the receivers out of there. There's you got Caldwell.
Caldwell's a good one.
Geese.
Mm-hmm.
Simeon Barrow, Riley Mills.
Talk in there too. Okay.
And so we got the edge running back. Harvey Giddens, Neil Martinez, Blue. So I could add like a Blue or a Tutton.
Yeah,
more juice.
Make sure we do that. One of those guys. So Blue ran didn't he run a 4.3, a low 4.3 at his pro day? Something I saw something. I can't remember what it was.
The pro day I heard reports 4.2.
4.2. Oh yeah, so
I don't know where it came out to ultimately, but unofficial 4.2 at the pro day. He ran 4.38 at the combine, if I'm not mistaken. So Tutton ran up 4.32. Even Brashard Smith. Even Brashard Smith's a guy that I would consider.
That's good. So those three guys in a row. Check linebacker. Let's see what that looks like.
Second level.
Oh yeah.
Boston Carter, Kaiser, King, Simon, Lindenberg is Teddy Buchanan.
Teddy, you ever seen Teddy spelled like that, bro?
No.
Ever in your life, bro?
This should be a first.
He must be special, bro. He must be special, dog. I ain't never seen it spelled like that.
This would definitely be a first.
All right, we're at 86. What's our next pick? 125. That's 40 picks later.
Yeah, if we trade down here, could we add 127 potentially?
Potentially.
No, we'd have to give up something. Maybe the 6th rounder. Okay. Yeah, take 199.
Yeah, let's do that. Drop 4 spots.
Just drop down 4 spots and garner about 70. Yeah. Garner about 70. All right. So the Rams trade up, work the board a little bit here. Nobody I don't think we would take in this particular instance. Okay. So we're back. What do you want to do here, Drew?
Go back to the receivers real quick. Let's see.
There are your receivers.
Noel.
Here are our selections thus far. And we just traded down, but we managed to add a 4th round pick and traded a later 6th.
Let me see.
To garner quite a bit of
so we got McConkey, Mike Williams.
Positioning here in the draft on day 3.
Let me check one thing real quick.
Okay, so that's the receivers. We talked about the tight end position. We got Fannin out there, Gunnar Helm, Evans, Jurasek, who just did not, just didn't work out there. Thought we were expecting big things from him in Georgia this past season, but didn't work out. Brenning Stool, top guys at tight end. We mentioned running back, although I think we're going to use one of these 4th round selections on the running back.
Yeah.
What's Rashard Smith?
What's the tight ends?
Harold Fannin is the top guy.
Yeah, go give me Harold Fannin, bro.
Want to do Harold Fannin?
Yeah, let's do Harold Fannin. Then we come back, get us a running back, see what the D-line talking about. And then we can look at the receivers. Might want to slow it down maybe for Kyle Williams. I don't know where he's at on the board.
He's in the 150s.
The 150s. Then we might be okay. I'll cross my fingers.
Speed it back up. There's Caldwell coming off the board, as well as Walker and Gelati. Aaron Sorrell, Blue.
Ooh, Blue out of there.
Darius. Yeah, I would have liked Blue. But I'm good with Tutton or Smith here.
Let's take.
I think Rashard Smith is a little bit more in the passing game.
He does. What's the scheme they run over there, bro?
What you mean?
For offensively, what kind of?
In terms of their running scheme.
Yeah. Is it the hardball? It's probably the hardball.
Yeah, it's hardball.
Yeah,
Greg Roman hardball. Yeah, so you'll get power, you'll get some zone. You get a lot of multi-tight end sets.
Let's Smith gives you more in the pass game.
We're gonna check out Elijah next week, Dana, during our film session. Yeah, we're gonna check out Elijah Roberts.
Yeah, give me Brashard Smith.
Okay. Right. I just think he gives you a little bit more versatility compared to Tutton. But I like Brashard quite a bit as well. All right, so we're gonna go Brashard here, and we're thinking. Oh, Peace just went. Damn.
Oh man, come on. Because I want to see the D line right.
Damn. That one hurt.
Yeah, that one hurt.
We probably should have provided or prioritized the D line. Yeah, big Cam Jackson. We can just
Still
kind of
got
pivot
him
to
there.
later. Tim
We got Ty
Smith,
Robinson down there as
Tafuna.
well. Yeah, we got a few
I
guys.
like Simeon Barrow. I think Simeon Barrow's getting. I mean, obviously, you see the U, but
Right.
even prior to that, what he was doing at Michigan State, I think Simeon Barrow's kind of got lost a little bit. Didn't get a combine invite, interestingly enough.
Oh man.
So what we've done thus far is Malachi Starr, Josiah Stewart, Harold Fannin, and Brashard Smith. So we've definitely added some juice offensively. Still looking for that wide out, but I like the pieces we've added to this offense.
You want to go Kyle Williams here, bro? Yeah, there you go.
Let's see.
Then it said per Google. Good look, Dan. Good look. So here's my question, bro. Because if we go receiver here, you want to get your Simeon Barrow. I think he's ranked 157.
Mm-hmm.
So you want to take a chance, or you want to
no,
go?
No. I so they have Kyle Williams ranked 160th. I think he's a top 100-ish type player, bro.
Okay.
I like Simeon Barrow quite a bit, but I'm okay. I'm okay with pivoting.
We got to settle with
to a Tonka, a Tim Smith, a Tafuna, Cam Jackson, Ty Robinson, like all those guys. I'm okay with. Okay. I actually like Simeon Barrow a little bit more in an even man front, although he can play fine in a three man down line as a 4-5 technique type.
Right.
I actually prefer him as an interior defensive lineman in an even man front.
Even man front. Okay.
So I would prioritize Kyle Williams. Yeah, let's do that.
All right, man. We got your tight end, we got your receiver, and we got you a running back, man.
Yeah, so, I like what we've done thus far. I really do. Like how we've gotten things underway. Oh, no Williams to Kansas City. I hate that for everybody else.
Bro.
Yeah, pick up pace a little bit here. See what's available to us at 158. All right. Quincy Riley. Good player. What else? What other position? I know we were talking about the down line, so
linebacker was the other one.
I'm good to wait on that a little bit. Linebacker.
Cody Simon,
Lindenberg, Stutzman.
I'd be good with any of them guys. We need to put Teddy on the film study. I'm good with any of those guys if we want to go linebacker here. Let's see. What was it? You said Quincy Riley?
Yeah. I'm just thinking just in terms of how we value these players.
Yeah. Don't want to force it in.
It may not be a pressing need, but I'd be hard pressed to pass him up. To be honest with you. Yeah.
You don't have enough to. I'm good with it. You can't have too many corners, bro.
Yeah, definitely. All right, let's go Quincy Riley here, and then we'll add some additional bodies to the front seven.
Yeah, who's there?
Probably pick up a D lineman, or rather an offensive lineman, to provide depth up front as well. Okay, so into the 6th round now. Through 5 rounds, Malachi Starr, Josiah Stewart, Harold Fannin, Jr., Brashard Smith, Kyle Williams, and Quincy Riley of Louisville.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we need some beef now. Definitely need some beef.
Have some beef, bro.
All right, so here are your linebackers.
We getting down to the nitty gritty.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are. And they steady disrespecting my guy Nicholas Martin because he's a little undersized, but I like him. You want to go with your boy Buchanan?
Yeah, let's go with Buchanan.
Okay.
Do something a little different.
We're
just gonna pass
the fan. Dane's a fan, and I believe this is the backer that when we were in Mobile and we were interviewing some of the players, Damian Martinez, right back from Miami. You asked him, who was a memorable player that you faced this past season, and I think he was referring to. He said the linebacker from Cal. He really balled. I think he's referring to Buchanan. So let's go with Teddy Buchanan. Keep him on the West Coast here. And then we got 2 more 6 left, actually.
They're pretty close.
Yeah.
Proximity.
Let's see here. The down line.
There you go, Cameron.
Big Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
And then on the offensive line, we got Slater, Pierce,
Grab one of those guys.
Clay Webb,
Team
Xavier
leader.
Truss. Yeah. Okay, let's go Cameron again. Big body up front, difficult to move.
Mm-hmm.
Bit of a two-down player, but certainly excels on those early rundowns.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go to the offensive line.
Yeah. They don't need a center. I'd say a tackler or guard is probably what they need.
Yeah, we'll look for somebody who can kind of give us some flexibility. What do you think about? You think it's too soon for Truss? Like guard or tackle? Or do you just feel like this Jackson Slater is just a better player, Holland Pierce, just better player? We want to make sure that we get one of those guys in here.
Oh, yeah, still a Holland Pierce, bro. Let's go with a Holland Pierce.
Okay.
Give him some love. I think we did last draft, same thing. With a Holland Pierce. So give him some love out there.
All right.
And we wait.
We won't have to wait too long, though. Work through this quickly. All right. Chargers 7-round mock draft went pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Look, Tress went 253.
Bro, grab me Theo Weiss, bro.
Yeah, okay. I got you. I know. I know. It's a good pick at this point, though. Mm-hmm. I think he represents excellent value. Tyrops did some more film study. He's one of my favorite guys. You know what? Coming out of Mobile, Dana, Ty Robinson definitely moved up the board for me. Like he's a handful to deal with up front. Ty Robinson's a good one. I think he's gonna have a nice long career. All right. Okay, Drew. I think we did some good work here, man.
Scroll up real quick. What did I say? He said something about
we should have drafted Demetrius Knight.
Yeah, all right. No. We don't feel that way, bro.
Yeah. We're probably lower than the consensus on Demetrius Knight Jr. Definitely looks the part, but some inconsistency in his game. Definitely some inconsistency in his game. We had a little consternation at the top of the draft. We were thinking about trading down. We engaged the Lions, the Commanders. They didn't necessarily present the kind of value we would like in a trade down, and we decided, okay, well, it's not good enough to pass up on Malachi Starks. So we took Starks to pair him with Derwin James on the back end of that defense. And I think just having Starks, I've said it before. I think Malachi Starks is a complete football player, complete safety. I think he can do it all, right? What he is particularly adept at is playing in the deep parts of the field, playing free safety, single high, right? So I don't want to pigeonhole him, but just having him in that role gives you a lot of flexibility with Derwin James, bro.
It does.
Now I'm blitzing Derwin. I'm doing all kinds of nonsense with Derwin now.
Yep.
Like Starks is back there cleaning it up for you. You can do whatever you want with Derwin James now. So I really do think that really puts our defense in a unique position. We needed more pass rush. So Josiah Stewart was the best player, I think, for what the Chargers do defensively in place. I think he and Thule could form a pretty good duo there with the tutelage of Khalil Mack. Joey Bosa's moved on. We traded down in the third round, just a few spots, but we were able to garner about 70 draft spots in the fourth round. With the third round selection, we took Hal Fanner Jr. again. We wanted to add some more explosiveness, more teeth to the passing game, right? The tight end position is kind of a bit of an albatross for, or not an albatross, but a black hole, effectively, for the Chargers here. So we bring in Fanner Jr. What he can do as a pass catcher is really impressive. I think he's a willing inline blocker, not great, but willing. But we want him catching passes. We just missed out on Jaden Blue. We really wanted to get that speed in the backfield and that ability out of the backfield in terms of the passing game to kind of form a complement with Najee Harris. But Rashard Smith actually serves that purpose as well. Rashard Smith is explosive. You can help in a return game. And he has experience playing receiver as well. So I'm okay with that from a consolation prize perspective. And then we kind of wrap things up on the offensive side of the ball here with Kyle Williams. right? I view Kyle Williams as kind of a top 100 player. Didn't feel comfortable waiting until the 5th round for him. So we took him 127, and now we're fielding an offense with the likes of Harrison Smith in the backfield. You still have Kamani Vidal. At receiver, McConkey, Kyle Williams, who is probably has the best release package in the class, along with Quentin Johnson. You bring in Mike Williams, so definitely improve the receiving room. And then Harold Fanta Jr. I think Harold Fanta Jr. could be a real mismatch nightmare for teams at the tight end position. Too big for most defensive backs and a bit too quick for quite a few linebackers in the NFL. So I really like how we kind of helped that offense, helped Justin Herbert here in the middle rounds, in the mid rounds. And then we went back to the defense. Went back to the defense with Quincy Riley, Teddy Buchanan, and Cameron Jackson, every level of the defense. Riley is another player that I think PFF is just entirely too low on. Excellent film from him. Played well in Mobile as well. Buchanan, all over the field. All over the field. PFF didn't like the selection because they have him ranked a bit lower than where we selected him, but makes a lot of plays. We keep him on the West Coast. And then if you're familiar with Couch Potato General Manager, this 2025 draft cycle, you know that we're all fans of Cameron Jackson in terms of what he does as a run defender, really being stout at the point of attack. Very difficult to move him off his spot. So got to have those down linemen to allow everybody else to make plays. Then we wanted to add some depth to the offensive line. Holland Pierce, big player, big physical player here. Don't have to thrust him into any immediate duty here. We just kind of like the value and added depth along the offensive line. And then your guy at the end of the draft, man, Theo Weiss. Mm-hmm. Where do you think Theo Weiss actually ends up, Drew, in this draft?
I don't know, because I don't know what he ran at the combine. So I need to look at that.
Did he get the invite?
So if he didn't get an invite, then we got a problem.
It says Pro Day 4.56.
Okay, sound about right.
He ran 4.56 at the combine, so he was at the combine. Not a big time athlete. 31-inch vertical, broad jump, 9 feet 9 inches. Yeah. That's not his game. That's not his game.
No. He's probably gonna be a day 3 pick. I'd say
sure.
Probably maybe 5th round, middle 5th round, maybe top of the 6th, somewhere around there. I'd imagine middle 5th round, top of the 6th. I would imagine somewhere in there because he's not.
Yeah,
he's not a big time athlete.
Yeah, Dana. Rashard Smith actually started his career at Miami, so I got a good look at him, and I was very disappointed when he transferred out. Very, very disappointed. I was heartbroken because I could just imagine him in that offense with Cam Ward and the new weapons they kind of had in place, an improved offensive line. But he was kind of stuck behind Restrepo in the slot. They weren't playing him at running back. That was the issue. He wanted to go back to playing running back. But he returned kicks. He returned kicks from Miami, and he took several of them back to the house. So, yeah, he definitely adds that value in the return game. Yeah, Theo's good, man. Theo's good, man. I don't know that he's going to create the separation that you're looking for on a consistent basis, right? Yeah. He's a bit of a back shoulder merchant, but I'm not mad at it. Here at the end of the draft, yeah, give me Theo Weiss. You know what I'm saying? I think he'll end up making an NFL roster. Who's your favorite pick? Can't be Weiss. Don't say Weiss.
No, that wasn't gonna be Weiss. It's probably Kyle Williams, bro.
And why is that?
Just because what he can do for this, for the receiver room. When you talk about, we always talk about, having different positions at the receiver position. I've heard, I think it's DP, and I've heard other people say, the basketball team and having, your power forward, your 1, your 2, your 3. So I think that's kind of what we did here when you talk about the receiver room for the Chargers, and you can include Harold Fanta in that, Harold Fanta Jr. in that as well. So, Kyle Williams is a professional receiver. Release package, probably has the best release package in college football in this draft cycle. He's got some speed to him, and he can catch the football, bro. Like, he's damn near the whole package, bro. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. He should have went to Miami with Cam Ward, bro. I
He
know
probably
when
wants
you're
to
over
stay
on the
out
West Coast,
west.
it's hard to make that move, especially if you've grown up over there. I understand that, so that makes
Right.
sense to stay there.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Headley talked about it. When Cam was at Wazoo, Williams was his go-to receiver, and then with John Mateer, Williams continued to do it. He just did it a little bit differently.
Yeah.
With Cam, it was a lot of vertical stuff, and you got to see that in Williams' game. But this year, I think I got a better feel for his complete game. Like, he makes plays at every level of the field. So, yeah. I think people are catching on though with Kyle Williams. Yeah. Right. Even coming out of the Senior Bowl, I don't know that there was enough of a buzz around him, but I think since we've gotten a little further away from the games, people have gotten into the film a bit more and made their way to the Washington State film. I think people are starting to understand what Kyle Williams could be at the next level. Again, I think he's a value in the 4th round. I think he could be selected in the not first round. Excuse me. Wow, the 3rd round, and I wouldn't bat an eyelash at that. So yeah, I like that pick quite a bit. I how you have your conscience and the angel and
the devil.
Yeah, I got you. On your shoulder, man. That's what I was going through at the 2020, the 22nd pick there with Luther Burden staring us in the face. I was like, man, listen, you want to add some pizzazz to this offense. Burden can do that, and I think when you talk about, and we keep on coming back to this, like, what do we expect from players, right? The ceiling and the floor. Quentin Johnson was one of those players that there was some volatility with. We didn't love Quentin Johnson coming out. We didn't love it. We thought he had kind of day 2 film. You know what I'm saying? The 2nd round pick, because there was some intriguing physical tools there that pushed him up a little bit, but we didn't have him pegged as a 1st round guy. And I think the consensus is kind of split on Luther Burden. You have people who are very high on Luther Burden, and then others who are like, that doesn't look like a 1st round pick to me, right? I don't think the scope of outcomes is as pronounced with Luther Burden as compared to Quentin Johnson. I think you got a lot more boom or bust with Quentin Johnson, and we're seeing that kind of play out compared to Burden. So that's kind of my thought process. But again, it's hard to argue with Malachi Starks, bro. I don't know that there's 10 better players in this class than him. Like, it might be like 5, 6 players.
Definitely not 10.
You could say, yeah, definitely not 10. Definitely not 10. Yeah. So, yeah, I like this draft quite a bit. This is good stuff for the Chargers here. All right. I think this is what everybody's been waiting for. I shouldn't say everybody, but certainly Jake.
Yeah.
For his Packers, as I mentioned at the top.
Oh yeah, because we traded with them boys.
Yes. We have.
Them boys nasty, bro.
We have taken advantage of them on several occasions throughout this 7-round mock draft series for 2025.
They accepted the trade, bro. That's all I can say.
They did accept it. They did accept it, right? We didn't force it on anyone. Right. Although there is an option to force the trade. We didn't force any trades. They did accept it. So, what's your thought process here with Green Bay as we get started on their 7-round mock draft? What do you think Green Bay needs to prioritize?
Hold on, because I ain't even pulled their roster up. I was looking at Twitter, bro, and I seen your boy Russ. And what's the saying, bro? What's the let it ride or let's ride? Let's ride. Let's ride, bro. I just smile when I see that, bro.
Listen, there was some creator, bro, I saw, and he was just like, man, you know the secret to success as a content creator is you gotta push through the cringe, bro.
You gotta push through the cringe.
Yes, bro. Embrace and like what you think is cringe, bro.
Yeah.
The masses, they might feel like, oh, this is cringy, but they're watching. I can't. I need to.
You can't
do it. You can't do it,
bro. That switch, that switch isn't there, bro. For me, bro, I just can't do it, bro.
Oh man!
Wild, all right, you're right.
It's the truth. I think there's some legitimacy to that claim. But yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy pushing through through the.
So these boys
the
do need a linebacker or two, but that's not a priority.
A linebacker, off-ball linebacker, or an edge rusher?
Because they got one at weak side, one at middle, and two at strong. So just in terms of
you mean depth?
Numbers,
you're looking for depth.
Yes, for depth.
Gotcha,
Yeah. In terms of starters,
because Edge Cooper out there, man. I don't even talk about Quay Walker. Edge Cooper.
Yeah, Edge Cooper. Yeah, no, you're right. You're right. My brother seen him, bro. He said, "Who's that? Who's that middle linebacker for the Packers, bro?" I said, "Bro, that's who I wanted for the Bucs, bro." But there was no shot for us to get him, bro. I was like, that's a baller. Jari didn't get traded yet, bro. He's not out of there yet.
Jair? No, I don't think so. Might be a draft day situation.
Draft day. All right, so we definitely want to get us a corner. That's for sure. Just going through. Is okay. I think we're gonna need us an edge because is Van Ness ain't it, bro? We out of there. That's it. Done.
I think edge probably is the top need. That edge and corner are to me the top needs here in my mind. And then shortly thereafter, I'm trying to add a receiver and another body to the down line. Then we can start
use
talking
a tackle
about
too, just in terms of numbers.
Linebacker. Yes. Linebacker, tackle. Addressing that offensive line a little bit because of expiring contracts, things of that nature.
Yeah.
I know Jake would like to see someone paired with Jacobs in that backfield, somebody that gives you a little bit more juice. I think there's definitely some prospects in this
you got
class.
James Blue, got Rashard Smith.
Jake is thinking like Travion Henderson. That's what Jake is thinking.
Oh, I mean,
he wants to go higher end. He wants to go higher.
You want to blow a second round pick on Henderson? We can do that. You know what I mean? I don't recommend, but we can do that.
Yeah, I'm in alignment with Jake here in terms of edge, corner, receiver being their top three needs. Definitely in that order as well. I view it. Now we'll see how the draft obviously unfolds here, but just on the onset, that's kind of how I view it. 1, 2, 3 in terms of priority. All right, let's get it going. Shador went first overall. Okay. Travis Hunter falls to the Jets. Wow. Drew, you had talked about Jahad Campbell potentially going to Dallas. I'm seeing it more and more now. And when you take a step back, you're right. When you take a step back, there's an argument for it. There's an argument for it. But I think Cowboys fans, they feel like they have too many players that are. I wouldn't call Campbell undersized because he's an off-ball linebacker, but part of what makes Campbell special is what he does as a pass rusher. And I think the Cowboys fans are looking for more size. They're definitely looking for more size. That's why I didn't necessarily love the Jalen Walker pick per se, but maybe they feel different. Pierce or Simmons and trade Walker to New England. Left tackle. Yeah, Rasheed Walker.
Well, I got you.
Pierce isn't big enough. All right.
Yeah. I'll say this: there are a few teams in the league that draft a very specific way, and I think the Packers are probably number one when it comes to that. They have a type, and they kind of stick to that type no matter what.
They're looking for a specific archetype. Yeah. And it sucks because nobody actually wants to trade down with us except for the Falcons, who are next pick is 46 overall. So we got to make this pick, but there's a lot of. I wish we had more offers because you got Walter Nolan still out there, Derek Harmon, Alexander. This is why nobody wants to trade up.
wasn't pushed us in a corner. What's the receiver position? I know that was the last kind of need, but what is that?
Yeah. Burden, Abuka, Ayerman, Besh, Higgins, Trey Harris.
And then what's corner looking like?
And then corner. Amos, Hairston, Ravel, Porter, Thomas, Morrison. Yeah, it's not ideal.
Bruh, I'm probably going Morrison, bro. And this is an assumption that we get in 2022.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, Dana, that's where I'm leaning. I'm leaning towards Scorton.
All right. Jake, you get to make the pick, bro. It's between Scourton and who did I pick? I forgot, bro.
You said Morrison. I'm not saying Morrison's in the conversation, bro.
You're not saying he's in the conversation?
Nah,
because he's hurt?
Because he's hurt, bro. Because he's hurt, bro. Can't. Like we gonna get him at 54, bro. Get him at 54.
I'm looking at him like he's not, bro. Like he shouldn't be here.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? I get what you're saying.
I'm aware.
He ain't gonna be there, bro. He's not gonna be there at 54.
I'll tell you, he's gonna be there at 54. I'm trying to tell you, bro.
All right, let's go Scourton then, bro.
Yeah. I'm leaning to Scourton, considering all things considered.
And I think fits the
yeah. I think you're probably gonna get more Purdue Scourton because he should be able to get upfield. Yeah, he should be able to get upfield, right?
You don't have to allow other people to eat.
Yeah.
Gotta play that game.
That being said, and I asked you about that, Drew, about Amos, right? You know, he could force his way into the first round.
He would because Ravel and Benjamin Morrison injuries.
Coming off the injuries,
otherwise he's probably bottom of the first round or somewhere in the beginning of the second or middle of the second round. But yeah, he might go before those two. I wouldn't be mad at it. I understand it if that happens.
All right, let's go Scorton here. Scorton?
Oh, I think it's Scourton. I think that's what Hadley says. Scourton.
Josh Simmons was actually the very next selection. Malachi to Buffalo. Wow.
They need that, isn't it?
Jaguars. No, it makes a ton of sense. I just didn't expect them to be there that late. Amos to the Falcons. Amos almost lasted. Almost lasted. Okay.
There you go, bro.
There he is.
Lock it up.
Yeah, we're talking about the best man-to-man corner in this class, right? And of course, with the labrum injury, there's a legitimate question mark as to whether or not he'll be able to return to form, how quickly he will return to form. We're betting on modern medicine here. We're going to bet on modern medicine, but his reps as a man corner is phenomenal. Phenomenal, right? Like it for all the conversation around Will Johnson and Jade Barron and when you talk about just pure man-to-man technique, Benjamin Morrison is top of the class. So let's go Benjamin Morrison right here, 54th overall.
Is it too late to trade your boy?
Who's that?
Jari?
No, we can still move him.
Let's
see. I'm sure we can get a third for him.
Yeah, let's see.
What you want to do?
I want to get to the top of the third as close as possible.
Okay.
Highest possible.
As high as possible. All right, so let's see what the Giants did. They went with Loveland and they took Carter in the first, so they have a need there. 65th overall.
Yeah, I'm mad at it.
Let's see. Buffalo. Probably use a corner. See if we can get that second round pick out of Buffalo.
Okay.
The second of their two.
There you go.
Second round picks.
Oh, right. We just put their stuff on there. My bad. Yeah. Oh, that's what they said. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure we can get more, but that might be pushing it from a realistic perspective. So there you go. There you go, Jake. We're gonna take the second round pick here from Buffalo.
And then we're looking at receiver.
All right, so here's who's at receiver. Trey Harris, Jalen Royals. So probably your top three names there.
Yeah.
And then we get into the Kyle Williams, Nick Nash combo. All right, and then let's just do the Benjamin Moore selection first, and then
almost forgot.
and then revisit here. Then revisit. Yeah, Isaiah Bond has some juice, ain't he? Definitely.
Oh, they met with Isaiah Bond.
Score ton seems to be the guy pronunciation. Thank you,
Okay,
Dana.
Scorton. Okay, thank you.
All right. So, Scorton and Benjamin Morrison, really to add teeth to this defense to the first couple of selections. We traded Jair Alexander. The expectation is that there will be, at some point, Green Bay and Alexander will part. That's cornerback one, by the way, from that class.
It is.
Saying, check the tape. When healthy, heads on straight, Alexander's terrific. But he struggled to stay healthy. Jake is lobbying for Norman Lott, adding him to the down line.
I'm mad at it, bro.
I'm not mad at it either.
Yeah, I'm good with it.
I'm not mad at it either.
Yeah, he's juice.
Let's see what else we got. Before we make a final decision.
My turn, Jared Ivey.
I do like Jared Ivey. There's CJ West if you want a bigger body. Alfred Collins.
There go your Trayvon Henderson right there.
Trayvon. Oh man.
What are you saying, Jake?
I think you gotta go get your receiver or because they need a one, right? That's the idea is to find a one. So Trey Harris, I think, fits the bill. I think Trey Harris definitely fits the bill.
Yeah,
but
I'm good.
Do you like it more than Norman Lott here?
So
we could pivot, man. That's my thing. I love a Fred Collins up front.
Yeah, let's yeah, I'm good with Trey. Let's go Trey Harris. I don't want to give that up, bro.
All right. Let's lock that in.
I think there's plenty of there's plenty of three technique guys.
Hey.
First step quickness guys.
Hey, you got to stand on it, Jake. You got to stand on it, man. I think Trey Harris is a value at this point. I think Trey Harris, again, for me personally, I'm not going to speak for anybody else. I think Trey Harris in this particular draft should be in consideration at that 1-2 turn, right?
Yeah.
Late first round, if you're maybe a player away, early parts, first half of the second round. Here we are getting him damn near in the third. You know, I'm okay with it. And I think he's exactly what you're missing in that receiving room.
Yeah, I'm good with it, bro.
Yeah, let's go Trey Harris here. Well, ask the players. Ask the actual players.
They got your boy Norman Lott and Henderson gone. Collins gone.
This West gone.
Harris
over Royals. Genuinely asking. What do you think about that one?
Yeah, I would take Harris over Royals. Yeah, I think Harris is just a little bit more of a polished receiver than Royals is. Royals just be out there bullying folks, bro. Just bully you through the route and just out physical you. I like it, believe me, I love it.
Yeah,
but that's not always gonna get it done.
Yeah, I'll give Harris a little bit of an edge over Royals, but I like Royals a lot too. Yeah, I think Jake makes a good
That's it right there.
He's more polished than Royals.
Yeah,
it's more polished, but I like Royals a lot too. Don't get me wrong. I think Royals is solidly in the second round conversation, whereas I'd have Harris kind of teetering on the first round, second round edge.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So through the first three selections, including a trade of Jair Alexander, netting us the 62nd overall pick. Green Bay needed a Jaden Reed. Royals would be a perfect. Yeah, I agree. Yep. Scorton, Morrison, Harris. Again, the thought process is Morrison's labrum. Everything is looking good in terms of the medicals, and you're ultimately getting the best man-to-man corner in the class.
Yep.
Okay, so here we are in the third. Here's what it's looking like along the down line. Jordan Phillips, Walker Peoples, Caldwell. Hey, we haven't talked a lot about Aeneas Peoples, man, but when you talk about interior pass rush,
yeah, he gonna give it to you, bro.
First step quickness. Nobody, has a higher hurry or percentage rate than Peoples in this class. Nobody among interior defensive linemen. Let's see. And then the running back position, Harvey Giddens, Neal.
They go you juice.
There's the juice.
The four
Neal
guys in
got
a row
juice.
with the juice right there, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And you got Neal there too. Harvey there too. Yeah.
All
So we
right.
don't got to press on the running back.
No, we do not.
So we've filled the three needs we talked about.
The top needs,
Yes.
yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So we did
yes.
that. We talked about tackle. We talked about a linebacker. We talked about linebacker because they're thin at linebacker and tackle. Those are the two positions.
Yeah, I think the tackle conversation, it comes down to, and these are two names that I kind of like here, Charles Grant
and Anthony Belton.
And Belton. Yeah. I think the tackle conversation is about who's up next, right? I fully expect them to extend Zach Tom, right? I think the long-term deal gets done there. Walker, who was a 7th-round pick, but they struck gold. They've gotten a ton of value out of him. I don't know that he's going to be back unless, he's willing to take kind of a friendly deal. I'm sure he's looking to cash in, right? Your 7th-round pick, you've clearly outplayed that rookie contract there.
Yeah.
I imagine he's gonna, want a pretty significant payday, right? And he'd be able to find that in terms of free agency. So I'm thinking you're going to have to replace one of your two starting tackles as early as 2026. So I'm open to that idea. What do you think about Millen and Williams? Just for the conversation, I think I know where you're going to go with this, but for conversational purposes, what do you think about Millen and Cameron Williams?
So Cameron Williams, you talked about him. Good athlete, but struggles in pass protection. So no, it's just that simple. And then Wyatt Millum. So was he not at the Senior Bowl? I'm trying to remember.
He was in Mobile. He struggled.
Yeah. Yeah, see, that's why I'm like
he had an excellent season, but he just looked like a fish out of water in Mobile. He really struggled. Maybe knocking off some rust. I'm not sure.
And I don't want to hold that against him. I guess maybe we could go Wyatt Millum here. I think you want to go tackle here.
Yeah, I'm open to tackle here. Where else would you go? Where else would you go otherwise? Because I'm thinking we wait to the 4th for our running back.
Yeah, that's definitely
that's my thought process anyway.
Yeah, there was another position. Oh, go back to linebacker real quick. Just let me see.
St. D mentioned want to add some beef up front, defensive line.
All right. We don't have to press on linebacker because they got their starters. So okay, so don't worry about that. Now we got to go. Let's go tackle to make sure that we don't. We lock that in. Let's be different, bro. Let's go Anthony Belton.
Yeah, I'm with it. I think Belton is probably your best bet early. Can Cameron Williams turn into a significant upper echelon starter? Maybe. Charles Grant is definitely intriguing. Dominated at William Mary. Mm-hmm. He seems like the type of player that the Packers would take a chance on.
He does. Because he is.
But I think in terms of just kind of being ready to go at this point in the draft, Anthony Belton probably fits the bill. I think Wyatt Miller is a guard. I think he's a guard. I don't think he's a tackle. So Anthony Belton it is. All right. Let's see how the remainder of the 3rd round plays out. Running backs is coming off the board.
Out of there.
All right, so here we are at the top of the 4th. Let's see. I know
Neal came off.
This is not necessarily what the Packers do, but they like their draft picks.
Listen, absolutely not.
No, we're not doing it. We gotta let it unfold. Damian Martinez to the Raiders. Actually like that for the Raiders quite a bit.
Walker out of there.
Barrett Sorrell. Peebles. Oh, blew to the Broncos.
Oh, man. That one hurt a little bit.
There's Pegues. If we want to go to the D-line.
What was he? Was he? Oh, he's ranked 124. Damn, he's right there.
Yeah, yeah, but Pegues is the type of body that you're looking for up front. Intriguing athlete too.
Look back at the running backs real quick. Just see. We might have to go to the East here.
It's Tutton and Smith currently,
We might lose
and
both of them,
then
bro.
at 159, yeah, they probably won't be there. I'm just looking at who we could pivot to potentially.
Right.
Maybe an ETN. Maybe a
Yeah,
Trevor
that's
ETN.
probably.
Mononga's
Yeah.
probably too much like Josh Jacobs for the
Yeah.
Packer faithful taste. Yeah.
Yeah, I would think so.
So maybe an ETN, and then a little bit later, like a LaQuint Allen.
Yeah, it might be the next one. Yeah.
Different type of back. One of the better pass catching backs in this class, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So sounds like Pegues. Oh, one other thing. I'm just gonna throw this wrench in.
Here we go.
We got Noah Williams right there, bro.
Come on, man.
You know what they say about corner. You know what they say about corner.
Can never have too many.
Never have too many, bro.
But if we do that, then where are we going on D line, bro? Is my question.
Yeah, St. D likes no. All right. See? St. D and I.
But we can come back and get you a Quincy Riley.
Potentially. Riley might be there. But
then we're giving up the running back position. No, we might be able to. We're good at 198.
I think Simeon Barrow is in play. Tim Smith, Tafuna. Cameron Jackson's our staple. I like Ty Robinson. I think there's some other names there. But
do you think Pegues is that much better? You could get Ty Robinson. Damn, bro. Come on, man. What y'all doing to me?
I think considering who's on the board, what the number of picks that we have between the 5th and 7th round, I'd be okay with transitioning away from Pegues in favor of Noah Williams.
Noah Williams?
Yeah.
I can't argue with the
Stokes, Ballantyne. Stokes is in Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. Ballantyne, Rochelle, and eventually Jair. So yeah, I'm in favor of going back to the well. Even though Quincy Riley might be out there. Even though we won't risk it though.
Noel gives you the size. Gives you the size on the outside.
Yes.
So
yes.
Absolutely. And Morrison's pretty big himself, so you got 2 big corners. So I'm good with it.
All right. Oh, Williams it is. What are your thoughts on Tonka? We haven't talked about him recently. We talked about him more in season.
Nah, he's kind of out of sight, out of mind for me. I got to go back to the tape, man. I'm trying to think because there was so many defensive line on that South Carolina defensive line. If I remember correctly, I think he's a pretty good run defender. What happened?
Looks like
what's Riley out of there? Oh, Trevor Etienne gone. Oh my goodness gracious!
Gone.
What are they doing to me, bro?
Oh my God, there's Yarns. Okay, so maybe we wait on a LaQuint.
Yeah, guess so, bro. not happy.
You don't sound happy.
Nah, I'm not
Don't
happy.
sound happy. All right, let's take a look at what we've done through 4 rounds. We got Scourton, Benjamin Morrison, Trey Harris as part of the trade of Jair Alexander. Anthony Belton, I think he's going to be our long-term answer at left tackle. And then Noah Williams, who really wanted to ensure that we replenish that defensive backfield. So I like what we've done thus far, but it does sting. It does sting a little bit missing out on ETN, Rashard Smith, Blue, those guys to kind of pair with Josh Jacobs.
Yeah.
Still some good names here, though. Maybe a little, some more guys that are kind of be redundant based on Jacobs' skill set. But
yes,
definitely some good names. Definitely some good names remaining. Let's go to the down line. There's Simeon Barrow.
Still got Ty Robinson. Still got the names we know. The names we like.
I don't know that there's a player. Let's see if there's someone that you really like. Otherwise, here.
Go to
There's Nick Nash.
Good linebacker. I think there's not gonna be anybody. I would. Yes. Let's just say. Damn.
You a Zeke
Zeke
Biggers
Biggers.
guy?
I'm not familiar with Zeke Biggers, but that's a name I'm not gonna forget. I'm gonna watch him this week. And we're gonna talk about Zeke Biggers uh next week. Monday
Yeah,
we can talk about him.
yeah. Likewise, likewise. I mean, I saw Tech play a couple times this season, but I wasn't focused on Biggers necessarily. So that's a guy I'm a bit late on as well.
I don't want to force any linebacker, bro,
You
but
sure?
we might have
You
to
don't
get
want
one here
you don't
though.
want a Kobe King or Cody Simon, Cody Lindenberg.
Mm, I
Again,
like,
we're not looking for a starter here,
yeah, that's true. That's true.
right?
Um,
Not yet, anyway, because Edge, Cooper, and Quay are your starters.
let's go with a Kobe King, bro. Let's do that.
All right, so you want to prioritize Kobe King over everybody else. Let's just take a quick look.
Okay.
Okay, that's the edge. Again, we want to get that down lineman.
There's a lot of down linemen. That's the only reason I'm doing it. That's the left on
Okay,
the board.
okay. And then you don't love running back right at
Nah,
this
I'm
moment.
mad, bro. I'm mad, bro.
You're upset about that.
Yeah. Trevor
Um,
Etienne won't hurt.
I
I
like
know you like your
McNash,
Nick
bro. I do
Nash.
like my Nick Nash, bro. I do like my Nick Nash. All right, so we'll grab. You want to go Kobe King or Cody Simon?
Uh, let's go. I don't think we've ever drafted. Have we drafted either one of these guys? I think we drafted a Cody Simon. I don't think
We,
we
we may
drafted
have
a Kobe
drafted
King.
Simon once. I think we drafted
Yeah, let's
Simon
go. Let's go with a
once.
Kobe King, man. Is that your boy, brother?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's the bigger of the twins, I believe.
Yeah, he look like he the better of the two. Go ahead, bro. Your boy fell off the face of this earth.
Oh man.
Up to
Upton Stout to Philly, Lindenberg to Buffalo.
how many picks Buffalo got, bro? They had like.
Oh, that's true. Because Kalen is in Green Bay, so the brothers reunite.
There you go. See, all right, then we did it. There you go. You know.
Ty Felton. Ty Felton adds some explosiveness to the mix.
Okay.
3 picks. Let's go get our down lineman. All right.
Let's do that right now.
You wanna prioritize Ty? Want to go Ty this time around?
Yeah, let's go Ty.
Seems to be a groundswell for Ty. I like Ty Robinson. I do.
But them boys,
I have him
was he higher before?
Closer. No, I don't think so. Maybe slightly.
I think he was a little bit higher.
Maybe you know what? Maybe Zeke Biggers is the one who's climbed.
Who's climbing? All right, so we definitely got to make sure.
Biggers. Yeah.
Let's
grab Ty Robinson right here. Grab Ty.
Okay.
They're gonna hate it because of the value, but
yeah,
we don't.
Yeah, we don't.
Zeke Biggers was like the next pick.
Oh, was he?
I think
yeah,
so.
them boys definitely gonna hate it. Oh, they go Quinn Allen, bro. You out of there?
Quinn got picked. Hurt.
I already know where I'm going, bro. Don't worry about it. Don't worry.
Montreal.
Yeah, that was my last one. Like if everybody's gone, bro, that's what I'm taking.
Trust me, I know. But you know what, Montreal's a good player though. I like Montreal. I like
Raheem Sanders for the juice, but he don't have the patience and the skill set that Montreal has, the understanding of how to play the position.
Sandy said he likes.
I like Isaiah Nayer too, man. He just listen. He didn't bust a grape when he was supposed to bust a grape over there. They went over to Texas. Went from Miami to Texas to what was that?
UTSA. If I'm not mistaken.
UTSA. Yeah, I think that's who it was.
Nayer's not on the board here. There's some interesting names if you want to add a receiver with that 250 pick. Though.
Is Thornton not on the board anymore? He's gone?
No, he's gone. It's Brew McCoy that's still there. A guy that can get vertical is Arian Smith.
Yeah.
Is he going to catch it? That's really the question.
Can he catch football? Yeah.
Ja'Cory Brooks can get vertical. Dwayne Felton can get vertical. Jackson Meeks had a really good year. I like Rock Taylor. So there's some interesting names at the receiving position at this point. But
Yeah.
Let's look at your boy. Montrell.
Yeah, let's do that.
Good all around back there.
Yeah. And he ran faster than I thought he was going to.
Mm-hmm.
So he got a little juice. I don't necessarily think he plays with that kind of speed, but it's there. Let's say that.
All right. Saint D, Jake, what do you want to do with this final selection here? The 250.
The final selection. Let's go get us a Kyron Lacey, who's never going to play. Yeah.
This is the time. This is the time you draft Kyron Lacey.
This is the time.
Yeah, I Meeks is intriguing, Saint D. I'd be okay with Meeks.
Yeah, I would be okay with him too. He was out there at the the Shrine.
Yeah.
And he was doing some work in the drills. And I saw one-on-one, create separation. I like it.
What's your boy's name? Did he put
that's Desmond.
He had a 25-inch vertical at 460 or something like that.
Yeah. I think what is he like? I think he's 6'4", 464.
Yeah, ridiculous.
25 vert. Yeah, it's crazy. And then he ran like a 5'9". Was it a 5'9" and some change? A 40.
I don't know what he ran on 40.
Yeah, it was slow, bro.
Yeah.
It was as what you would have thought he would have ran, bro. What it looked like.
As expected. Meeks or Badger. All right, let's go with Meeks.
Okay.
Let's add a Jackson Meeks to the mix here. All right, Saint D, Jake, give us your thoughts here in the comments. Who was your favorite pick as well? Drew, why don't you break this one down?
Bro, what is wrong with these guys in this linebacker, bro? Like
they like Demetrius Knight a lot, bro.
Yeah, I don't understand it, bro. You gotta show me, bro. You gotta show me. I need your instincts, player. 5'8", that's what it was. All right, we went Nick Scorton. It was between 3 players. It was Scorton. No, it was 2 players. I was saying go Benjamin Morrison. You were saying go Nick Scorton.
And we got them both.
Yeah, we did. You said Morrison will be there at 54. I said, nah, he won't be there. He was there because we talked about it in terms of the injury. He's kind of pushed down in value, but we got those 2 players. And then we traded. I said, hey, Juice, man, we got to trade Jair, man. He got to get up out of here, bro. We got to get rid of him. Okay.
Trading quarterback 1, man. Blasphemy.
Hey, man, listen. He got an attitude problem, number 1. Number 2, he can't pay him. He can't stay healthy. He got to go, bro. You know
he's definitely struggling to stay healthy.
We got the best man-to-man corner in Morrison in this draft, assuming he's healthy, right? Yeah, favorite. Yeah, 100%, Jake. I agree.
Wild, Jake. 33rd?
Yeah, that's wild.
What film did you watch, bro? Which game did you watch? You know what I'm saying? Tell me.
So this is what I would say. If you watch a good tape of his and you look at his size and his speed, I could understand it.
Sure.
But you got to tell me the tape. Maybe we need to tell him the tape that we watching so he can compare notes and then he can push them down the board and then everything will be right in the world. Okay.
Hey, what highlights?
I love it.
Real talk.
Hey, Jake, I'm gonna send you my highlights too, man. Don't worry about it. I got highlights too. Don't worry about it. And then we got Trey Harris with the trade. So with the first 3 picks, we've essentially we handled the needs, the biggest needs, in order. I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think that's how Jake had put it. In that order, we handled it, and then we got Anthony Belton. It was between, I think, 3 or 4 tackles there. We went with Belton because we feel like, in terms of being an immediate need or somebody that can come in and play immediately, that's the guy. And I think we were saying that he was going to be the guy come 2026 at that tackle position. And then we had a discussion between this next pick, Noah Williams, and what was the other player I wanted? Noah Williams or Pegues. Yeah. And we just like what was on the board, or Juice did, and so did Jake, in terms of what was on the board versus Noah Williams. And then we talked about, hey, having 2 big corners on the outside. So I agreed, said, hey, you know what? You guys are right. Let's get big on the outside. Jair, although he's cornerback 1, little bit of a smaller guy, but we kind of changed our thought process on that and went ahead and went Noah Williams. Purdue version of Scouting would be very effective. I agree.
That's
Yep. 100%.
Get him upfield. Yeah.
100%. And then I went with Kobe King. I think we had 3 linebackers that we could have picked from between was it 2 Codys and 2 Cobes?
Lindenberg, Simon, and King.
And went with Kobe King. I think wasn't Did Lindbergh? Did he end up at the Senior Bowl? But it was like it was the
Yeah, I think
day
he was a late
3,
edition, maybe.
late.
I
Yeah,
think he
yeah,
might have
yeah,
been a late
yeah.
edition, maybe.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly. Yeah.
Yeah. And then I think it was Saint that said let's no, was it Saint? No, that was wasn't Saint. It was Jake, Ty Robinson. We like him more than most. Well, at least PFF. They give us a D-4, but we like him, like that first step, those hands, his power. He showcased some first step quickness out there at the Senior Bowl that I wasn't necessarily thought I was going to see, but he was splitting defenders, doing some things. So love it there. And then we wanted Trevor Etienne. I think he got picked 2 or 3 picks before we get there, and he was gone. I was upset, but got a consolation prize in Montreal Johnson Jr., who I love. I love his style. Love his, yeah. I love his the way he runs the football. He can run past you. He can run through you. He can run by you. He's more likely going to run through you. That's just his style. But with his 40, he's got a little bit more speed than I thought he had. I think he ran a 4.4, if I'm not mistaken. Don't necessarily think he runs that fast when he's running. But again, as long as my running back ain't running a 4.6, bro, I'm good with it, bro. Okay.
Yeah.
And then we went with Jackson Meeks. I actually wanted your boy from Tennessee, Thornton, but he was already gone because I like the speed. But yeah, Dante. But we got Jackson Meeks who can create a little bit more separation. And so, yeah, man, this was a solid draft. I think the first 5 picks I love. And I think those are, that's going to be the core of your football team in a couple of years.
Yeah. Some interesting conversation here in terms of, what the Green Bay brass is kind of doing as far as visits and pro days and so on and so forth. And it does sound, I know there was a little bit of a chatter about this when we were, deciding on Scourton, is whether or not, you prioritize a tackle, right?
Yeah.
Because again, as we talked about, you got both of your starting offensive tackles, entering, unless I missed something and Tom already got extended, going into like the last years of their respective deals. Right. Mm-hmm. So something's got to give. In all likelihood, you're not going to bring back both, and you probably would favor Zach Tom. Walker, again, a 7th round pick, has clearly outperformed his draft position. You can look into cash in. You know what I'm saying? If I were him, I would likely be going into free agency. Even if I did return to Green Bay, I would test the waters. You know what I'm saying? So maybe Gutekunst is thinking perhaps, we get out in front of this. There's a player based on our boards, maybe a tackle of the likes of Simmons out of Ohio State or Connerly from Oregon, considering that he's visited those pro days, get a look at some of those players. So something to consider there. But yes, I agree. We managed to get the top 3 needs in I guess really order of priority from a hierarchy perspective. Edge, corner, receiver, I think are the top 3 needs in order for Green Bay. And then that trade of Jair just kind of gives you just a little bit more flexibility. And then our ability to nab both Morrison and Noah Williams, as St. D pointed out, really helps soften the blow of some exits via free agency as well. And then while I don't know that day 3 necessarily worked out the way we would have hoped, I think we wanted to go a little bit more upside at the running back position with the Trevor Etienne. I don't hate it. I don't hate it. Kobe King is an intriguing prospect. We really like Ty Robinson. I think he represents great value there in the 6th. And then Jackson Meeks is intriguing. Another piece to add to this receiving room. So overall, I like this one. But to your point, it's the first 5 picks that you really get excited about.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
And real quick, you know what? I ain't even mad at us not getting Trevor Etienne. You know why, bro? Because he left the Gators to go to Georgia, bro. Number 2, bro, he can't pass protect. And Montreal can do that. So I'm good with it. Jake, you said something about Jahad Campbell injury?
Yeah.
Well, listen. First of all, I'm just going to tell you this. There's no way on God's green earth he passes Tampa Bay. That doesn't happen. Unless Jalen Walker's on the board, that's not going to happen. Jahad Campbell ain't passing the Bucks.
No shot.
Regardless of injury. Unless it's something crazy injury.
Drew's telling you, no shot, Jake.
No shot.
Injury and all. We don't care. No shot.
What was that?
It would be foolish. It would be foolish. It would be foolish. Now, if Starks for some reason is sliding, then
Oh yeah. That's
Yeah,
a different conversation. Yeah,
Green Bay
Todd
might be
Bowles.
in play. Campbell might
Yeah.
be in play for Green Bay under those circumstances.
Listen,
Yeah.
what's the draft day with
Bo
your boy
Callahan.
Kevin Costner? Oh, Bo Callahan. What your boy had it on the sticky? Draft him no
Oh
matter
man,
what, bro.
no
You know what
matter
I'm
what,
saying?
bro.
No matter
No
what, man.
matter what. All right. That is the Green Bay Packers 7th-round mock draft for 2025 in the books. All right. Appreciate you guys. All the input there, St. D, Jake, Dana. All right, Drew. We got one more 7th-round mock draft this evening, and
Who
the
the hell
Packers
is it,
fans,
bro?
the Packers fans are probably like, "Yeah, I'm out." It's
I'm out, bro.
it's the Minnesota
Done.
Vikings.
Oh
It's
man,
the Minnesota Vikings.
they might stick around for sabotage though, bro. You know what I'm
Here's
saying?
the thing. Here's the thing, though. This one, unless we get real, you know,
It wasn't got too many.
unless we start wheeling and dealing. Minnesota doesn't have a lot of draft capital, right?
Oh man, what's hurt?
In order to get Dallas Turner, as well as your boy JJ McCarthy, you know, they gave up quite a bit of draft capital last year to get their guys. So I think they enter the draft with just 4 picks.
No, they don't. For real?
I promise you, bro. As a matter
They
of fact,
looking like the Rams, bro. Sound like some Rams stuff.
Hey, they said, listen, we got to have Dallas Turner. We got to have JJ. That's what it is.
So Dana, this is what we thought coming into the season.
Yeah. That's exactly what it was, Dana. We were like, yo, Deontay Lawson. Why are people not talking about Deontay Lawson? And then we're like, oh, okay.
Pick a game.
Oh, Jihad. Deontay Lawson is really good. But I think he went back because he got overshadowed a little bit by Campbell. I think he made a good decision. I think Lawson made
100%. Yeah.
Because he got a chance to be the first linebacker off the board.
Linebacker taken. Yeah, I would agree with that. Yep.
Yeah. All right, Drew. I think from a game plan perspective, we're just gonna let the draft come to us.
You can't do nothing. We gotta chill. Gotta chill, bro. Can't do nothing stupid.
Yeah. See if we can work the board a little bit to add some draft picks potentially. But yeah. We definitely don't have a lot of draft capital entering this 7th-round mock draft for the Minnesota Vikings.
Let me ask you, with this team, do you think they overachieved last year, or do you think they were kind of based on the talent they had, the coaching they had? You think everything lined up? Sam Darnold played the best he's ever played in his life.
Yeah. I my sensibilities suggest overachievement because of Darnold. Okay. My expectations for Darnold were not within the same stratosphere of what Minnesota accomplished last year. So from that perspective, they overachieved. But I think Minnesota, they're such a well-coached football team, bro.
I agree with that. Yeah.
Between, head coach and Flores on the defensive side, I think they're a remarkably well-coached football team. So even though they may not necessarily have all the pieces in place, I think they're buttoned up come Sunday. I think their game plans are typically top-notch. It comes down to, execution, obviously. But what O'Connell was able to do with Sam Darnold, you can't sneeze at that, bro. You can't sneeze at that. So, they get their guys back along the offensive line healthy. My guy at left tackle, Darisaw. Year 2 Dallas Turner, I think is going to be a problem. It's going to hinge on JJ McCarthy, but if O'Connell is shown anything, is he can work with his quarterbacks. You saw how he got Dobbs prepared, right, in a week.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And Dobbs is a brilliant player, not just a player; he's a brilliant person, like an aeronautical engineer, whatever the case. I mean, he's obviously a very sharp young man, but that's no small task. That's no small task. So I think just because they're such a well-coached team, they're going to be in most games. I did not expect what they did last year, though. So if you're just looking at it through the prism of my expectations entering the season versus what they were actually accomplished, definitely think they overachieved. But I'm no longer underestimating the Vikings because they got some intriguing young players and they are a very well-coached football team. So I'm not underestimating them anymore.
Yeah, looking at the roster, it's a pretty solid roster as well.
Rodgers does want to play in Minnesota. He's trying to do the Brett Favre thing, apparently. Trying to make it happen. All
Gotta
right.
make it happen.
Let's see. Actually, before I get this started, Drew, let me just put this banner up so people will hit the like button. I do want to do a call to action on our mock draft simulator. While the player database definitely needs an update, it's hurting for an update. I'm working on that real time. The draft simulator itself is functional and it's been updated as far as team needs and draft order. So it had been down for several months. Finally got around to actually troubleshooting it, getting it situated. So those of you in the corresponding tiers on the Patreon, feel free to submit your 7-round mock drafts to us, and we'll review them here on the second half draft show. I don't know that anybody's done one already. If you have, just let me know where you sent it, and we'll take a look at it before we wrap things up this evening. But just be aware that the actual rankings need quite a bit of work. So I'll be addressing that over the weekend and definitely by the 1st. So there'll be a good 3-week roll up here to the 2025 NFL draft. So you can knock out as many of those mock drafts as you see fit. All right. Let's get this mock draft here for the Vikings underway.
So I'm looking at this team and I'm thinking they need a safety, a corner. They need a corner. They have depth at corner, but they need like
they need a guy. They need a guy.
They need a guy, and by 2027, they're not going to have too many corners on the roster just in general. But so,
I actually
strong.
To your point, Drew. Interestingly enough, to your point, Starks went to Green Bay. Damn, I would have took Starks.
Damn.
Yeah, McKinney and Starks on the back end. The top 2 needs I have for the Vikings are corner and safety. It's secondary. Like that's where I think they need to add pieces. But in this particular instance, let's see who's available. But I think this team needs to consider trading down, bro.
Is your boy on the board? He's probably out of there.
Who's that?
The number 1 safety for some folks.
Oh, Amenawari.
Yeah. Is he on?
I think he's still out there. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know, I've heard some people knocking Amenawari in terms of his some of the angles he's taking, what have you. I think he's certainly, in the conversation latter parts of the first round for sure. Big time athlete and really put together an excellent 2024 campaign. But I'm not mad at the folks who feel like Xavier Watts is a better player, though. I'm not mad at those people. I don't know that Watts has the same ceiling.
From a cerebral standpoint,
mm-hmm.
I think Watts. I mean, I don't think it's close. I'm not gonna say it's not close, but I think I almost feel like Amenawari is playing off of just pure.
They did add Kelly.
Just pure raw. See it, go get it. Versus Watts is like, I know what's coming. Like it's 2 different things happening, right? Both of them can produce.
Yeah, Amenawari can get there because he's a freak athlete. Right.
And I think sometimes with those poor angles, he's like, "Oh, I got that," not realizing, "Oh, this guy's pretty fast," and I took the poor angle, right? But I usually can get there. So I can see both sides of that, and I get it. I can understand why Watts would be over him, bro. And the thing about Watts is he turns the football over, bro. Like it's showing up in the stat sheet.
Hey, listen. Amenawari fills up that stat sheet too. Now let's not. I mean, not to the same degree of Watts in terms of INTs, but as far as tackles.
Now, let me ask you something. This would probably make the decision for me. Is who's lining people up on the back end?
Oh, Watts is.
Okay.
Watts is.
Right,
yeah. That's the brain. That's the brain. Yeah. All right. Well, I'm looking at the board, and I also think I mentioned the secondary is really what we need to address. That's the top priority here in Minnesota. But right on the heels of that is down line, and you got some good ones here. Yes, he is. Walter Nolan, Harmon, and Alexander are all available here. And Amenawari is still in the conversation. I
Dang, you know what sucks is, bro? With this
I would.
first pick, you got just 70 spots, 70 picks you got.
No. I mean, I wish I don't want to trade down. I don't want to trade out of the first round. I mean, Cleveland
So you
is
think
the
it was
next size
Washington?
pick, but if I could get the 61, but I don't
No,
think
you're
so.
not getting that. Nah, the boy
No.
said kick rocks.
So if we were to trade out, man, y'all tripping, man. It's not worth it. It's not
Nah.
worth it. That's not worth it. Let me see. What would we need to?
Can you get a third round next year? Not that we care about next year,
If we
but
take the 128, yeah, they probably would do that.
we trying to. That's not what we're trying
I'm
to
trying
do.
to get in the third.
I know.
I'm trying to get in the third. Let's see, 58% chance. 17% chance.
I said, nah, ain't happening.
If we trade out, we're probably gonna miss out on all these guys too.
What if you go with who was the first team? It was Commanders, the trade team. Is it Commanders?
Yeah.
So go give them 20, take 29, take 61. What if we gave him 139? Will that do anything? Ain't busting nothing, is it? No, we can't do that, can we?
I mean, I guess we could, but I mean that's a second round pick. Now we're dropping down 5 picks in the first to add a late second, and we give up our late third. So I mean, it makes sense from the perspective of trying to garner some positioning in day 2.
Right.
I'm not mad at that, but we're not adding any draft capital.
Yeah, we're not. That's the point. That's what we're trying to do,
and that's what we're trying to accomplish here.
Yeah.
So Tennessee. See, Tennessee doesn't have a second round pick or third round.
Come on, bro. I can't even help us, bro. The Commanders don't have a player they can trade either because them boys building up their roster.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not even a thing.
Yeah, I don't know that this is worth it, considering what we could end up missing. Honestly.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of players on the board. It'd be hard if we miss everybody.
I'd be willing to try this, but I don't know if you want to drop down that far, 9 spots.
Yeah, I don't think so, bro.
Okay. All right.
Damn, bro.
Yeah, not ideal. Maybe 94 and 104 from Cleveland. Let me give it a shot, Jake. Let's see. I think they said no, but let's see.
Ooh, that's still 9 spots, so it's scary.
It is 9 spots. It is 9 spots. I guess the question is, what would you do there, right? In the late third, early day 3, what are you trying to add? Or do we package and then move back up? Because you'd have the 94th, 97th, and 104th picks.
Does that guarantee me a second round pick?
I'm sure we could get a second round pick for it, but again, the idea is to add draft capital.
Picks, not be giving them away. No, let's just make this.
Vitor said trade down to the 40s.
No, we trade down to the 40s. We gonna be able to get a second round pick. The only issue with that is
so if we trade to 38.
What's on the board if we do that? That's the issue.
Yeah.
That's what's scary.
Yeah.
I like to gamble, but
I think we're gonna miss out on some really good players, bro, at the end of the day. I would love to. I guess we could trade down to 29 and just pick up the 128. I suppose. Yes. I do. In Minnesota, I think we'll be available at 29. Right. If we say, you know what? We do want to add a player in the secondary. I believe the Minnesota will definitely be there. We could end up missing out on Nolan and Harmon, though. That's where I'm hurting right now. That's what's hurting me.
So if we trade down 5 spots, what do we get? We get 100 and something pick.
128, a 4th-round pick. And I don't think it's worth it.
Oh, yeah, that's tough, bro.
I don't think it's worth it. But it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough to add the impact players beyond for the positions that we're trying to address. It's gonna be tough. Now let's think about it. Let's think about it before we decide. I think we're gonna stay put ultimately, but before we decide, at 97, we're now thinking secondary at this point, right? Because we're gonna either go with Walter Nolan or Derek Harmon here, right? If we stay put, in my mind, that's what we should do. 97. We got guys like Noah Williams on the board at corner. We're thinking Makuba's probably off the board by then. Billy Bowman at safety. These are the kind of the guys that I'm anticipating. So let's just look at the position group. So got Ransom, Kevin Winston Jr. might be pushing it. Makuba is 95th, so I guess there's a shot, but I wouldn't hold my breath. There's Sanker, Kobe Bryant, as I mentioned, Noah Williams. Quincy Riley will definitely be there.
Yeah.
So that's what you're kind of looking at if you're trying to address the secondary at that point in the draft. And conversely, if we then decide, okay, well, we're going to prioritize the secondary. Let's say we go with the Manowari here, right? Then we're looking at Deion Walker, Jamari Caldwell, Pegues, Peebles. These are the players that you're now talking about at that point.
This is tough, bro.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Nolan or Harmon personally.
Yeah, let me
Dana said trade down and trade back up.
There's no guarantee with the trade up, though. That's the thing. That's the scare you playing with fire.
Vitor said if we trade with the Patriots, Amenawari will be there. I think Amenawari went 29th in our last mock draft, or wherever the Bills were drafting in the first round. I think that's where he ultimately went up.
I think it's 30.
KC could be looking to trade up. I mean, we could try, but they're not seemingly one of the teams that are offering a pick. So let's see. Where are they? Kansas City. Not interested in trading for the pick.
Jeez, somebody said, man, hell nah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just not enough value. If this pick was a 3rd-round pick, I'd be all for it. I'd be all for it. Vitor said, if you trade with the Patriots, are you a Pats fan?
What
but I'll unpack that a little bit, right? The cornerback position. Early parts of the 2nd round, Amos, Hairston, Ravel, Morrison, all those guys would be in play. Now, do we rob Peter to pay Paul, Drew? Do we dip into 2026?
So my question would be, okay, if we do that, is this team ready to play?
Well,
this year,
I guess it's going to come down to McCarthy, right?
Assuming he's healthy, or Rodgers. If you got Rodgers, then I think you do it.
Vitor is a Vikings fan. I drop it to 38 would be ideal. All right, so let's see.
He said
if we go down to 38, what are we getting in return? 69.
You ain't lying, bro.
144, 77, and maybe 106.
Let's roll the dice, bro.
You want to do it?
Yes, Vikings fan, bro.
You want to go 69 and then let's try 106 first. Let's try it. Oh man, passing up Harmon and Nolan. Oh,
I understand, man. Bro. He's a Vikings fan, bro. You know what I mean?
All right, man.
Scare money don't make no money. Let's do it.
All right, bro. Okay. They accepted.
Okay.
All right. See how it plays out. There's no
gone.
Man of War, he's gone.
Oh my gosh. Alexander's gone too, bro.
Harmon's still there though. Bro.
Yeah, I think we gotta let's wheel and deal, bro.
Let's see if we get back in the first. Dana did say trade down to trade back up.
She did say
what's
that.
What's it gonna cost us? It's gonna cost us this now. Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
I was about to tell you kick rocks though. Nope, they didn't. That was 71%.
Okay. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but we're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Give me Derek Harmon, man. I ain't leaving this thing without Derek Harmon, man.
See, man, scare money don't make no money, bro. Let's go, bro.
Don't make no money, bro. Good call, V4. Good call. No, I don't think so either.
No, they're not. They're telling everybody to kick Roscoe to hell, and we're gonna select them, bro. You know what I'm saying? Let's go. All right, we back up. Juice with the sticks. Juice, you there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Oh yeah. Your screen's black though, but we can hear you.
I don't know what's going on with my camera. Hold on a second.
Bro, we don't got to see your ugly mug. Don't worry about it. It's good.
Hold on. I'll be right back. Hold tight.
Okay. So I've heard rumors, that JJ McCarthy may not be ready to go when it comes time for the Vikings. So let me back out here and get these comments. So I'm just, I don't know. Like, what do you do if you're not going to get Aaron Rodgers? What do you do if you're a Vikings fan, right? Because I think right now he's the only quarterback on the roster, right? Is McCarthy? Yeah, right now he's the only one on the roster. So, I'm assuming that Aaron Rodgers is going to be the guy until JJ McCarthy's ready to go. And I heard he's a monster in the film room too. It says he's nutty buddy, bro, which is what you like from your quarterback position. Feel me? And I ain't talking about the ice cream, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man. All right, let's see what we got in the secondary here.
That's your question, bro. Nutty buddy, bro. Used to eat those in middle school, right?
Nah, that's not my thing.
Nah, but I used to. So let me ask you a question though. If you take off all because I couldn't eat the nuts and stuff, right? The chocolate, get all that shit out of there, bro. Yeah. Is it still a nutty buddy? If you take all that off?
That's death, isn't it?
It's death, bro. You know what I'm saying? Is it still a nutty buddy though? What are you calling it?
I don't think so. If you take the nuts out, that don't make this is a buddy.
It's a buddy. Just a buddy.
It's a buddy.
Okay. All right, just making sure, bro. When I was eating buddies, bro. You feel me? In middle school. Pause. Okay, go ahead.
Rogers, JJ Shadors.
Yo.
Yeah, man. This is crazy though, and I agree with Saint D. I don't think Philadelphia comes off of Derek Harmon, but listen, it wasn't Green Bay this time, right? It was Philly this time.
Yeah, it was Philly.
All right. What are we doing here?
Makuba,
call it a day.
Yeah, is there something else on there? We should make sure we don't miss somebody else.
Turner's still out there. Of course, we've already addressed that. Based on our other most pressing needs, I would say no. I think Makuba is it.
Yeah.
There's no.
Now you playing him at safety? You playing him at corner? What are you doing with him if you're the Vikings? Yeah.
No, I'm playing him at safety.
Playing him at safety. Okay. Yeah. These boys be running crazy, zero coverage.
But I think Makuba would be a good fit. I think Makuba's, the parts of the game that we were concerned about was the physicality with Makuba.
Physicality, yeah.
Right. I think in terms of his football IQ, I think his coverage ability, I think all those, check out at this point from a value perspective. But I think what we saw from him this year from a physical perspective, as far as tackling is concerned, physicality, he checks some boxes there. Yeah. And of course, they want 40 draft spots. Great. All right.
It was insulting, bro.
It is insulting, bro.
Come on, man.
All right, so we're not gonna play with it. We're gonna go get Makuba here, 69th overall,
and I like Winston, by the way, but he was injured. I think he play like maybe 4 games this season, 3 games this season.
I don't even know if he played that many. I'm not even sure.
Yeah, he got injured early.
Mm-hmm. It's just a cone with a stale.
Yo, you ain't wrong. Sometimes it was stale. I can't.
Oh man.
Sometimes it was stale.
Oh man, you guys are funny.
Trey Harris went. He went 80 something to the Bengals.
Tripping. All right.
We back on it.
Let's see what corner has to offer. Dorian Strong, Parrish, Bryant, Dotson. That's my guy Noah Williams. We don't have to take him right now. We could do it. We could take him at 106. But Noah would be the guy I go with.
Would you take David Walker?
I think they're in decent shape at edge, but
I think
you can't have enough pass rushers, though. You can't.
They got
definitely
Allen.
Can't.
They got
Darisaw. We got the guy at right tackle, O'Neal. I like both of those players a lot coming out. O'Neal's been a good one. They could use a. Well, no, they traded for your boy. They can still use it back, but they re-signed Aaron Jones and they traded for Jordan Mason.
They did.
What's that?
Vitor said take Tate Ratledge
for the depth.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not mad at it.
I know who you would take. You'd wait.
Who would I take?
We ain't even got that. We ain't even got them kind of picks. I was saying the 200. Yeah, the 200. You could take Frazier, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I'll take Frazier over Ratledge personally, but I'm not mad at it. Is that Kelly? Kelly coming in at 32 years old? He's 32 already? Damn, I'm old. All right. All right. Let's go take Ratledge, and we'll come back and grab our corner.
So that's the center, the future center.
Yeah.
And then you said who we grabbing?
I'm gonna go with my guy Noel. Unless you like Kobe Bryant.
It's a smaller player. I like him better than Noel, but Noel gives me the size, so I'm not gonna argue that, bro.
Okay. All right. Any thoughts from the crowd on this one? Oh, that's the wrong imaging. What you doing? Just getting click happy out here.
It happens sometimes.
It does.
I like
Elijah. Who do you like? You like Kobe Bryant, Noah Williams? Who's the cornerback of choice at this point? My guy was unfortunate to run all that well.
I didn't think he was gonna. I actually didn't think he was gonna run that well. It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
I like Elijah Huzzy, but I think he's a nickel.
Yeah.
A nickel.
Yeah.
And you got Zy Alexander, who's long.
So Drew, you like Kobe a little bit more than Noah, huh?
Yeah, but if I already have a big corner, then I would go Kobe. If I don't, and I got a smaller corner on one side, then I'm gonna go Noah. That's kind of they're very, very close.
Where's Jabbar? 280. I got Jabbar down at 280.
They moved him down, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I think he improved. I'm not sure if he did the vertical jump at his pro day. I got to check his pro day numbers.
Let's go Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Haven't gone.
Yeah, for the sake of doing something a little bit different. Yeah. If you do them in a similar light, I lean towards Noah Williams, but I like Kobe Bryant as well. So let's go with Kobe Bryant here.
And then we wait.
All right, and then we wait. Okay. So we entered the draft with 4 picks. We traded out of the first round and actually added some good draft capital.
I think we added 2 additional. We had 3 total picks.
He pounded the table. Yes. We added several additional picks. He pounded the table. Drew indicated that scam money don't make no money, so we traded out. But as the draft was unfolding, Derek Harmon happened to be sliding, and he was actually one of the two players I was considering 24th overall. It was either he or Walter Nolan. I would not have felt comfortable passing on Derek Harmon, considering that he was sliding. So we traded up and gave away a little bit of the draft capital that we ultimately lost, but we managed to add a pick, and we turned that pick into Andrew Makuba, right? Who fills a need there on the back end. Had a really good, strong 2024 showing. Most recently, we selected Kobe Bryant, and then we took Tate Ratledge there to really play about 3 different positions there in the interior of the offensive line. And so long-term answer up front. And, that's really been the challenge there in Minnesota is the interior of their offensive line. I think they feel good about their tackles. They've struggled to field a consistent group up front in the interior of that offensive line. So Tate Ratledge makes sense from that perspective. One final pick here, although we have a trade down situation. Denver's offering us 191. Let's see, Dallas 204, 239.
You can get your Miles Frazier. You do that.
Hey, ain't it?
Do that.
Oh man! All right, we'll make this last pick. Any player in particular you like here? Use another receiver to compete with Naylor. It's true.
Yeah, check the receivers real quick.
Tyler Shuck had that quarterback, Curtis Rourke.
See, so I thought about that, but I don't want anybody challenging JJ McCarthy. Like we went up and got him. There's no reason to throw another guy in there.
Speaking of receivers, there's your guy, Drew.
There you go, bro.
Dante Thornton.
There he is.
Call it a day.
Yeah, bro. Let's go,
linebacker
bro.
or tight end? We towards that linebacker or tight end.
Yeah, let's check that. All right. Pre-scoring. We like pre-scoring.
Pre-scoring. Dupre. And then linebacker probably isn't sexy, but there's Buchanan. In my list of needs for this team, we talked about the secondary, corner and safety being the top 2. I had down line for the defense.
Oh yeah, straight.
As the 3rd, and then I actually followed that up with linebacker. So certainly understand taking a linebacker here.
They're pretty solid. I would go linebacker over.
Yeah.
Maybe I go tight end over, because if you lose TJ Hawkinson, it's Josh Oliver, and Oliver's more there to block. I mean, he's a good blocker. And he gets some reps. He gets some run there.
All right. I'm gonna trade down, bro. We're gonna make 2 picks. We're gonna make 2 picks. All right. It may be tight end, linebacker, tight end, receiver, linebacker, receiver, but we're gonna make 2 picks.
We're gonna be able to fill.
Yeah.
One, at least
like
one.
that one. I don't like that one. I'm gonna try this one. Yeah. There you go.
What's he with the big red, bro?
Yeah,
you did not accept this trade. Like, okay, I got you.
Oh, but they were loud about it. They were loud about it.
Make sure you know.
Emory Jones. Yeah, I like the idea of potentially of a running back too. I don't like the idea of leaving this draft without a running back.
They say every team should draft their running back coming out.
Yes.
Don't,
we got Ollie Gordon, LaQuint Allen, Jackson Marcus.
They got Aaron Jones, Tyler Chandler,
Jordan Mason.
Yeah, we can.
Jordan Mason, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sure the Vikings will have more takers for that 24th overall pick. If they want to work for it, I think when things actually unfold, they'll have more takers for that pick. So I think that's prime real estate for one of those contenders trading up to go get a guy that they covet.
Yeah.
We got Wells, Prather, DK, Ricky White, Chisholm, some good wideouts here. Brock Taylor, some good options there. Tight end, Dupre, Lashy, Gadsden, who's kind of a tweener.
Mm-hmm.
As you got Brent Keithy.
Come on, bro. But can't stay healthy, save his life, bro.
Higgins, Buchanan, Dumas Johnson, Madrano,
But Nick Martin right there.
Storm Duck.
Storm Duck. Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
What you thinking, Drew? Want to go get Big Ollie? Or you don't, or you don't
Yes.
like him for this zone scheme?
I mean, I want to be. I want to. No, I don't want him thinking, but I just want him to put his foot in the ground and go. Oh,
Okay.
nah,
So not so much.
not so much.
I mean, it's more one cut than anything else. So I don't know that there's a ton of thinking associated with it. It's one cut.
I'm good with that.
Um,
If that's what we're saying, if that's this scheme, there's not, you don't got to wait for too much to take place.
kind of develop in front of him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
All right. So Ollie Gordon is one.
Huh?
Is there a receiver here you really like? Ricky White, Chisholm,
Mm,
Horn,
maybe Chisholm.
Efton.
Yeah, Afton Chisholm.
Okay, that's another. And then we got several linebackers. I don't know that I like tight ends. You like Dupree? You like Luke?
Like Luke.
Like Luke? All right. We'll see what's
Mm,
available to us at 239 at receiver and
okay.
tight end and linebacker for that matter. All right. So let's go Ollie Gordon right here. Add some size to the backfield.
Ali.
Well, Ollie being solid in pass pro as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Gordon looked like a different back 2 seasons ago.
Yeah,
This year,
sure
he
we
looks
was
to be
looking at,
kind
bro.
of laboring a little bit out there. There's Luke. He's came off the board.
Surprised he stayed with them. I guess he
Yeah,
didn't transfer. But...
yeah. He got into a little trouble too.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
That may have been weighing on him. That may have been weighing on him.
Yeah, I
All
forgot
right,
about
here's
that.
what we got at receiver: Mr.
Okay.
Weiss, Kyra Lacey, Rock Taylor.
When them boys took my Efton, bro. They took him. He out of there.
They did that, and Luke
The
as
haters,
well.
bro. And then tight ends is down
So
to
yeah, linebacker: Dumas Johnson, Reed, Jalen Walker,
let me get a Doomish. Oh, no, if I'm a go, let's go Nick Martin, bro.
Nick Martin. Yeah,
Yep.
man, let's get that speed.
Yep.
Speed and bad intentions. I like it.
Yep.
All right.
If you're gonna be wrong, bro, be fast and wrong, bro.
Be fast and wrong.
Be slow and wrong.
All
Well, there
right.
we go. They changed it up, bro. They said we should have drafted Elijah Arroyo, bro, over
Makuba. Yeah, we did based on their rankings, we did go Makuba a bit early there, but I think outside of maybe Kevin Winston, he's the best of the what remained at safety. So
yeah,
not mad at it. Didn't love the corner options at that point necessarily either. So all right. I mentioned at the top the trade down and then trading back up into the first round to acquire Derek Harmon. I think just the fact that we managed to add a pick when it all was said and done with those 2 trades and still manage to get Derek Harmon is a win. I think that's a home run. I don't know how realistic it might be, but certainly that's a home run as far as I'm concerned. The aforementioned Makuba there in the 3rd round. I think that represents good value. I think that's where he's going to end up, coming around that 2nd, 3rd round turn. So I think he'd be playing plenty as a rookie. Tate Ratledge for the future, or kind of a look to the future. I like some guards, i.e. Miles Frazier, a little bit later. Going a little bit different direction there, but Ratledge is a good player. There's no mistake about that. We were debating Kobe Bryant versus Noah Williams. Really haven't drafted Kobe Bryant much in our 7-round mock draft, so we went in that direction. Drew actually favors Bryant a little bit, but Noah Williams provides more size. Maybe as you're playing that man coverage, right, in Brian Flores' scheme, you might lean towards a guy who might hold up a little bit better in press coverage. But Bryant's a good football player as well. Ollie Gordon, again, if we're getting the 2023 version of Ollie Gordon, terrific.
Fantastic.
I think he could stand to lose, 5, 6, 7 pounds, garner a little bit more quickness. When we saw him in Mobile, he was kind of a bit of a plotter, and that wasn't the player that we saw in 2023. So the idea is for him to slim down just a bit, still a bigger back, a lot of physicality, good pass pro. Definitely a different, body type compared to Aaron Jones, the incumbent. And then Nicholas Martin. I immediately think about Ivan Pace and the fact that
That's exactly what I was thinking.
We had him so much higher than apparently the NFL thought. Right, he went undrafted for no apparent reason. I think Nicholas Martin is underappreciated. I know he's undersized, i.e., Ivan Pace, but the physicality and the sheer speed he plays with. You think about him in Brian Flores' attacking defense.
Bro, right? Third downs?
Bruh.
Just take one of the linebackers off the field, put him on the field along with Ivan Pace, bro.
It's going to be a car wreck, bro. It's going to be a car wreck. It's getting there.
It's going to be a couple car wrecks, bro.
Fast and violent, both of them, bro. Fast and violent. So, yeah, that might be my favorite pick outside of the Harmon selection.
Yeah, I would agree, bro.
I just love the fit. I just love the fit there. So, this actually with the Gordon and Martin selections, that was pursuant to a trade down. So we had 187. We were considering a couple players there, but we wanted to address more than one position, so we traded down and managed to pick up an additional pick along the way, which actually netted Nicholas Martin for us. So all things considered, entering the draft with 4 picks, you come away with Harmon, Makuba, Ratledge, Bryant, Gordon, and Martin. I think that's pretty good. I think that's pretty good, all things considered. And again, I would have been perfectly fine. I wouldn't have hesitated to take Harmon 24th overall. So yes, indeed, Jake, it worked out pretty well ultimately. All right, favorite pick, Drew. Your thoughts?
Nicholas Martin. I think we talked about it, but that's probably, if I had to pick a different one, it'd probably be Andrew Makuba. Just because he is a cerebral player, and he's going to be back there with Harrison Smith. And we Harrison Smith. That's a baller, bro. I know he's getting up there in age. He's not as fast, not as athletic as he used to be. So he's using a lot of his smarts to get where he needs to be. And I think, that would be a good guy to have, be up under his wing to learn the game from a pro. And Makuba can pick it up. I'd imagine he can pick it up pretty quickly, and play well, because Makuba, he sees things well on the field, good instincts. You can tell he studies the film, so. But yeah, and like you said earlier, our biggest concern for him was just being more physical. Over there at Clemson, I think he played both corner, nickel, and safety for them, and then he came over to Texas to just say, "Hey, we just want you to play the safety thing," and he flourished there from that position. So, yeah, that's probably my favorite pick.
Yeah, I think Makuba, the trajectory certainly is headed in the right direction with him. Yeah. So I'm excited that we were able to get him, and we didn't take any chances, right? He's ranked the 95th prospect here according to PFF. We took him 69th overall because we're that bullish on what he could provide here day 2. So like I said, considering that we had just a little bit of draft capital here, 4 picks, frankly, right? The 24th, and then we didn't pick again until 97th overall. We managed to still get one of the better interior defensive line, one of the better defenders in this class, in my mind, in Derek Harmon, and then effectively added Andrew Makuba to that mix. So good work from that perspective. Appreciate everybody's input here on the Vikings 7-round mock draft. Thank you, Vitor, for convincing us, for banging the table on that trade down, and then of course Dana with the trade back up thought process. So great work, good team effort here. All right.
So war room, baby.
Yeah, man. War room. Absolutely, Saint D. Listen, trying to tell them we were just in the film session with the patrons. Check us out there. By the way, love Miles Frazier. I have him as probably higher than everybody else. I have him as my 4th ranked interior offensive lineman.
Was high.
Very high. Top 5 for sure in my mind. All right. But yes, definitely want to encourage everybody. Check us out on the Patreon, man. Really, really good stuff. Watch the film with us, crunch the film with us ahead of the second half draft show. And of course, as a member of the Patreon, a certain tier within our Patreon, you can complete your own mock drafts on our mock draft simulator. Let me make sure that you guys see how to get there. Draftapp.couchpotatogm.com. Submit them to us, and we will review your mock drafts here live on the second half draft show. All right.
Well, we're going to bring you to the front of the congregation. We'll ask questions.
Yes.
What were you thinking? All
Yes, we
right.
will pick it apart. We will absolutely pick it apart. All in good fun, though. All in good fun. Constructive criticism, and of course, we like it. Plenty of praise, but definitely get an opportunity to kind of get our thoughts on your approach to your team's draft via our mock draft simulator. All right. Great show, folks. Thank you for tuning in. For Drew, this is Juice. We will see you guys next week. Oh, Mr. C. Brass, you sent one in. Where'd you send it? Facebook? Just send it on Facebook? I'll get to it before we sign off. Let's see. Oh, I see it.
This is the one where you took advantage?
Yeah, I'm sure he took advantage. I'm sure he took advantage. Let me see what he did. Let me see. Oh, see, we can't do this one, Mr. C. We can't do this one, and I'm going to tell you why. It's not fair to you. It's not fair to you. Not because Jackson Dart, you're getting Jackson Dart in the 4th round. It's not because of that. It's because Deontay Lawson is not in the draft class, unfortunately. Yes.
Hurt.
Yes. So Mr. C had Malachi, Deontay Lawson. He took Jonah out of Arizona in the 3rd. Jackson Dart in the 4th. Ja'Cory Brooks, Cam Jackson, favorite of ours, Taj Brooks, and Devin Van at NC State. So I got to double check on Van, but I know Lawson went back to school. So my bad, Mr. C. My bad, Mr. C. But we'll have that situated. So next time around, that's the old one? Damn, that's the old one? That's from 10:54 tonight. Got a new one? No, that is an old one. That's from January. Damn. Good call. All right. Let's see this one. Here we go. All right, let's do it. Let me pull it up. These rankings will definitely change. These rankings will definitely change. So Mr. C took full advantage.
Sure.
But we'll check it out. We will check it out. Oops. That's not the right password. I'm just getting an image of it so we can pull it up here on the stream. Where's the Patreon while I pull this up?
Bruh, I'm gonna wait till Helly comes back, but I got a story, bro. Story time, bro.
Story time?
Bruh. I don't know if I should say this. I should wait, bro.
You got to tease it, bro. Tease it.
Okay, let me figure out because I don't want to give too much away, bro.
You don't want to give too much away.
So we talk about Altoids, right?
We do.
What's in the Altoids, right?
Right.
Bro. I was gonna say this, bro. I thought I died, bro.
What?
Yes, bro.
What's happening right now? Oh man, can't wait for next week's show,
bro. It was bad, bro. It was bad.
You know, Dana. This is a player in Ashton Gelati that we were really high on entering the 2024 season. A little bit of cold water on him because he didn't have quite as big a season compared to 2023. But another player that I'm okay with, third round. Really like anywhere in the 3rd round, I'm okay with Gelati. Best reps come in when he reduces down. I think he's a 4-3 edge, but when he reduces inside, he's a problem. He's a problem.
Get him inside.
Yeah. All right. Let's see here. I think we're almost set here, Mrs. C. Let's see. Let's present it, shall we? Present this image file. Ha! There we go. All right, Drew.
Let's get it.
As you can see, Mrs. C has taken liberty with our dated rankings, but he manages to come away with Mason Graham, Nick Amenawari, Josh Connolly Jr. I am not a fan of your Quinn Ewers selection. Just going to call that out. You were batting 1,000. You were batting 1,000, Mr. C, until the Quinn Ewers pick.
Right.
You got it back on track with Chris Paul, Mason Taylor, Miles Frazier, Ricky White. I mean, even with
Come
the
on,
Quinn
bro.
Ewers pick, this is an A+ draft.
It
Even with the
is,
Ewers
bro.
pick, bro.
It is.
So
It is. You
I'm
get the
not
best.
gonna give this mock draft the attention and love it otherwise would get because the rankings are a bit skewed. But yeah, man, yeah. This is a whole lot of good here. Whole lot of good.
Well, you get the best. You get the best interior defensive lineman.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe you want to say arguably. I don't know if it's really arguably. And then you turn around and you get the best safety, arguably. We don't agree with that, but some people have, an Amari over Starks, and I get it. Josh Connerly, we're kind of what lukewarm on him. We're not as high as most
I
on
think
him.
the thing with Connolly, I think it's obvious that he needs to get stronger. Can Jelani play 3-4 edge? He can. I just don't want him to.
Yeah, I don't think you're going to get the
him to, man.
full. You're not going to
No.
get the full.
No.
His full effect is his best ability doing
No,
that.
I think he's a better 4-3 edge. But if you in all likelihood you're sending at least 4 on passing
Third and
downs.
long,
You
kick
move
him
him
inside. Yeah,
you can make it work. You can make it work. Speaking of Connerly, the functional strength obviously is the question mark. But he's so talented, bro. He's so talented, bro. You can improve strength. You can improve strength.
You can.
Now what degree that may kind of limit him. Maybe that's the reason why he's not a top 10 prospect. But the movement skills are phenomenal.
And he's got to be in the right
Movement
scheme,
skills.
I think, too.
Yes. Zone. Outside zone, inside zone, outside zone, more outside zone. Yes, yes, absolutely. How we just dash Alex's dreams on a weekly basis. No, we'll be back. We'll be back to do that next week. I don't think we did that this week. We'll be back to do that next week. Yours, you know me. I'm out on yours. We're moving outside zone. Oh, no, perfect. The reality is that Graham isn't going to be there at 18. The Manowari's not going to be there at 50. Connolly's not going to be there at 52. That's the harsh reality with this mock draft and the fact that these rankings are just stale on our simulator, which I am rectifying. I'm not going to spend any more time on you because I don't like it. Chris Paul is terrific. I think even with the Ernest Jones and the Tyrese Knight, like I get it, Mr. C. It's like, okay, I don't want to pass this guy up. He's too good of a football player, right? Yeah. So I understand that. Yes, Mason Taylor is not going to last to the 5th round, the end of the 4th, 5th round. He's not going to be there. But I like the idea of adding a tight end to AJ Barner. I think no offense back a year, but no offense never really become the player that I thought he might be able to become, unfortunately. Depending on who you ask, this is exactly where Miles Frazier is supposed to go. But I disagree. And I'm going to be moving Frazier up substantially in the mock draft simulator. All right. And no one can stop me. All right. There's no one to rein me in. All right. I have full control. So who knows where Miles Frazier will end up in these rankings. And I like the Ricky White, Tajba Pricks. I think those are reasonable. Maybe White goes a little bit earlier, but I think those are reasonable. And then Pegues also maybe a round or two earlier, but another good selection there. So yeah, man. Yeah, if this were to happen, Mrs. C, you clearly need to be hired. You're in the wrong profession if you can manage this. But we're going to shake it up. Next time around, I fully expect another mock draft for us to review. And I think it'll challenge you a little bit more. All right? Good stuff. All right.
We should put them side by side with the next one versus this one, bro.
Yeah, we could do it. Yeah. We could do all that. Clip it.
Clip it.
All right. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.